Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Travel Coach Network podcast. It is I, Sahara Rose DeVore, the founder and CEO of the Travel Coach Network and the creator and instructor of the Travel Coach Certification Program. Today, we have Charlotte Tweed. Charlotte is a travel coach with a goal to take you on a journey where you don't just visit, you live it. Graduating with a travel and tourism honors diploma, Charlotte is channeling all her passion and skills into Liberty Travel Coach to help people relocate to unique Liberty destinations. Charlotte resides in Mexico and will help you find a home where you can have freedom and live in a community of like-minded people. Charlotte is a published author with the desire to transform your life with expat travel, one destination, one adventure, and one story at a time. Charlotte, thank you so much for joining us on the TCN podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, wonderful. Before we dive into all of that, tell us, where did your passion for travel stem from?
I grew up on a farm in rural Saskatchewan, and we didn't travel. Growing up, right, farmers don't usually go away. You can't leave the animals, can't leave the farm. And I always used to look through encyclopedias back in the day. I hope I'm not dating myself too much. When you would open the book and actually look through the book, and I would look through and see all these incredible destinations that I always just wanted to see for myself. So really, since childhood, I've always wanted to travel and see things.
Would you say that there was a destination or place that you visited that really changed you, transformed you in some way?
You know, in 2018, my husband and I went on long-term travel, and we went to Egypt, and then we went to Jordan, and then we went to Europe. And we picked up a car in Rome, leased a car, and drove it up to Amsterdam. So spent a lot of time in Western Europe. And I think that was a very transformative time for us. Just from being away from our country for that long was transformative. And not necessarily a specific destination, but everyone that we went to, and just realizing there's different ways to live, there's different cultures, because you are there so long, you immerse yourself in it.
Yeah, there's just so much that can benefit us when we are just in these new environments and in places where the culture is different, the people are different, the way of life is different. What would you say are some of the main benefits that you got from an adventure like that? Like, how did it inspire you now to become a travel coach? Where did that come from?
It taught me to slow down and, not to be cliche, but stop and smell the roses. Because in Europe, it's very different than it is in Canada, United States, where everything is go, 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 right? You go home, you eat. Eating meals was a big one. That was a very different thing, how Europeans enjoy their meals and the time they take, and how it's a culture. And it's the time for you to sit and talk with the people around you, which is when, in Canada, you shovel down your food and you're done in 10 minutes and you go back to work, or you go to whatever you're doing, and you don't just stop to enjoy the meal in itself, the people that have prepared it, the people that are with you. So we really learned to slow down and not just be constantly on the go.
Yeah. Yeah, I can relate to that. That's something that I noticed a lot when I was traveling, especially in Europe, where even at the grocery store, where they just kind of take their time, mingle along, versus, yeah, in the States, everything is like fast, 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 get done. There's always something else to be doing or something like that. But being able to go to visit different locations, different destinations where just the lifestyle is different can
Mhm.
really help you gain a new perspective on what do you want for your life? How do you want to live? What feels good for you? Because we only know what we know and what we're exposed to in our own environments, right? So people love
Mhm.
traveling and saying, I love to be in new places and, immerse into local culture because it really does so much for us. Really shapes us into who we are and the life that we have. I mentioned when I was reading your introduction that your business is Liberty Travel Coach. Can you explain more about that? Like, what do you mean by liberty?
What I mean by liberty is freedom, right? Uh, not being under tyrannical, oppressive governments. And, you know, the world has changed a lot since we went on that long-term travel. Travel's changed, people have changed, countries have changed in the last few years. So I know there are a lot of people that want to move away from their current destination, but don't know where to go. Prior to me starting my coaching, I was a managing editor for an expat magazine, which was libertarian based. So we did have a lot of people that would contact us and go, where can I live to get away from this chaos, this oppression, where I'm going to have freedom and live the life that I want to live, you know, live in harmony, live with like-minded people. So I was really exposed to that side of expat travel or expat lifestyle, that people just, they're still looking for Shangri-La. And, you know, there is no place that's perfect, but there are people out there and there are communities and countries out there that still respect freedoms, that still love liberty, that are like-minded, that's how they want to live.
That's super interesting. I know a lot of people are new to the term travel coach, but that is a good example of just how diverse travel coaches are. You guys in the Travel Coach Network focus in so many different niches because something means something different. Travel means something different to each and every one of us. And who you serve and how you help people, is usually inspired by, you know, whether it's something you saw, someone you know, or something that you've experienced yourself. So your time with that publication and the fact of the matter of what's going on in the world these days, there are a lot of people who want to move to other places. Can you give some examples of what does that look like working with people? How do you help them figure out where should they live?
Sure. Well, with my experience with the magazine, that exposed me to a lot of incredible contacts, and even to destinations and stuff I had never known anything about. Getting to know those people and those destinations that I'd never heard of is what I want to bring to these people who are also out there that are looking for but don't know where to go. You know, not everybody wants to move to Mexico. Not everybody, they don't. They, for whatever reason, they, you know, like you said, everybody has their own reasons. So what I want to do is educate people who are looking for a freedom place to live on these destinations, on the communities, on the countries. So that's really the introduction part, is putting the education out there, getting the knowledge out there of where they are and educating on that. And then getting people to go and visit them, because you really have to go and see it for yourself and experience it for yourself to know what you want. So when I will pair people up with destinations, and destinations won't be the first thing we talk about, it'll be what are you looking for? And then I can base what they want, what they're truly, the lifestyle they're looking for, and match it up with different destinations and give them different options, and then get them to visit, experience it themselves. Is this a community you want? Is this really what you want? Do you really want alpine? Do you really want ocean? You know, do you want to be in an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean? Some people absolutely would love that. You know, you feel like you're on a different planet. That's what people want, but you have to go and see it and experience it for yourself. So I want to match people up appropriately with what is out there. And then the next part would be helping them move if they feel that is a destination they want to live in. You know, and if residency is something they need assistance with, I can help or give them to someone who can help them. And then once they move, help them, coach them into assimilating into the culture. You know, because a lot of people, when they do move from a country, they'll end up moving back home in the first year because it's such a culture shock. They don't know how to fit in. They don't know what to do because you're used to a lifestyle for so long. I've been living in Mexico now for 2.5 years. And I mean, I love it here. I have more friends here than I had back in Canada. But it's finding that destination, that location, visiting. We visited a bunch of different countries, a bunch of different areas in Mexico to see, is this it? So I want to help people find that and be successful in that new life that they seek.
Yeah, that makes total sense because it's really easy to think that based on what you see or hear that, oh, that sounds wonderful, I want to live there. Like, oh, I just want to move to Bali and live in Bali. Well, you may get to Bali and realize it's not sunshine and rainbows. Well, it's going to be sunshine, but it may not be sunshine and rainbows how you want it to be, right? I know that's something that I realized when I went to Bali. It's for me, I felt like it was a little bit overhyped. Loved it to some degree because I just love the Southeast Asian culture. Um, but it was still too busy of a vibe for me in many places. But there's, it's a huge digital nomad hub, expat hub. So it suits some people. It's so true, just being helping people figure out like what works for you, what's the right, environment and style of life that you want to live, and what best suits you. Do you have any examples of how you incorporate coaching into how you work with your clients? I know a lot of our listeners are like, well, okay, well, why don't you just help people book the trip to go there or plan what to do or anything? But when it comes to the travel coaching aspect, can you paint a little bit more of a picture of what that looks like when you work with your clients?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, it's really finding out why you want to leave. Like you may have in your mind, I want to leave, it's too expensive here. Some people, and some people affordability is not. So it's finding out really what really does check off the boxes. What do you imagine as being your ideal lifestyle? So it's going deeper than I just want to leave because it's just too expensive here. Where can I go? There's more to it than that. It's what is the lifestyle? What political type of stability are you looking for? Are you looking to go to a place where there's lots of expats or no expats? And helping them kind of work through misconceptions, because for me, one misconception we had with where we're living right now, there are a lot of expats here. And a lot of people you'll hear go, I don't want to live where there's a lot of expats because, expats they can be annoying sometimes. And you have to think through that with us going and doing this now, and we've stayed where there's no expats at all. Like there was only Mexicans and us, and now we're in an expat area, but we've been able to build that community and connections. So it's also like dispelling the myths, the misconceptions, what it is actually like to move to these other countries where it's a different language, different culture, having that going to a community in a place where there are expats is completely different because, like I said, you have that community, you have people you can go to, or if you have issues, I mean, there's all kinds of stories we could discuss. That could probably be a whole podcast on itself. Do you go to the police or do you go to a lawyer for things? Like you get that experience and wisdom from the people who are already there. So.
Yeah, that makes total sense. It's still nice to have that community, that sense of community, with those like-minded people. And you never know who you'll meet along the way as well. So it's nice to be immersed into the local culture, but it's also nice to have a little bit of a sense of familiarity as well when you're living in a brand new environment.
Yes.
Uh, when it comes to, are there any examples of outcomes or transformations and locations that you've helped your clients choose to live in?
I have my first client. So I'm just working with them right now. I don't know how much you want to go into that with, in your podcast, but I have my first client. And they are currently living in Nicaragua, but they want to move back to Europe. They lived in Austria. They're very well-traveled people, very intelligent people, well-educated. They want to go to Switzerland. And I was like, okay, Switzerland, for the reasons they have, they want an alpine country, they want to ski. They like Nicaragua, but they liked their European lifestyle more. So they want to go back to the mountains, and Switzerland is their first choice. And I'm like, that's a tough one. That's a tough one, but we'll see what we can find out. And across my channels, a few days after they told me that, there is actually a community in Switzerland that is looking to do what exactly they're looking for. And I thought, wow, like it's amazing how those things happen. So I've reached out to my contacts to get in more information on that. And we can see if their number one concern is, of course, residency. I mean, residency is a huge,
Yeah.
if you go and love it and you can't stay, you know, what do you do? So I'm currently working to see how I can get them residency in Switzerland. So,
Yeah, well, that's exciting that you have your very first client.
yeah.
Being a part of the Travel Coach Network and our program, can you share what it has done for you? How has it helped you or any outcomes that you've gotten by being a part of our community?
Yeah, I'm going through all the replay, well, not all the replay cabins, but a lot of the past videos that you've done. Seeing how people are, you know, setting up their business, the questions they have to do that. Because there's so much to do. And I hear a lot of people go, it can be so overwhelming. It can be that way with steps. It can be that way leaving your country. So you need that community to help you get from one step to the next. And I've found a lot of people that are in the videos that ask you questions have the same questions I do.
Yeah.
You know, where do I go? There's so many things, but you really just have to break it down, excuse me, into bite-sized pieces and manage your time. I've been doing time blocking. So, okay, I need to work on my website now. I need to get visible now. And I like how you say, don't wait till everything's perfect to start getting out there and getting visible. You know, my website's almost done at the time of this. It's 90%. I've got my email list started up. There's just so many steps in the business, but if you wait until it's all done, it could take me, you know, it depends with everybody. But it's time to get visible because I know things take time. You know,
Yeah.
I ran a travel blog before and it takes a lot of time. You can't wait. You have to go and you have to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you're going through the replay cabin. The reason I have all of these group sessions is because I know if one person has a question, someone else is gonna have something similar or the same question. But like you said, business is not easy. Traveling's not easy. Life's not easy. So having a community to help you and support you, but having that proper guidance to know how to build a foundation for your business, how to structure it, what can I do, what are the possibilities, versus trying to take in all the noise that's out there on what you should be doing and how you should do things and who you should serve. Our program really is designed to help you create the most authentic, purpose-driven business for yourself as possible. And we do that through our resources and our training and our community. So I love just how individualized each and every one of you are with who you serve and how you help people when it comes to your passion for travel, because planning and booking trips aren't the only options out there. That's something I always believed in when I was traveling. There had to be something more. I don't want to be a travel agent. I don't want to be a flight attendant. I don't want to work in hotels. There has to be something else I could do when I have such a love and knowledge and passion for travel. So seeing how you're taking what you're interested in and what you've experienced and how you are helping others have a life, as you call it, being a Liberty travel coach. I love that term as well. But I love that you're enjoying the program, and getting visible is something we talk a lot about, getting visible in so many different ways. And yes, don't wait to show up. Don't wait to spread your message. Don't wait to tell your story, because like you said, business takes time, and it takes time to build likability and trust and to reach your ideal audience and to figure out what do you like to do? How do you want to show up? What works for you and what doesn't? But you have to start somewhere. And I love that you're just starting on that journey too.
Yeah.
When it comes to how people can find and follow you and learn more about how you're helping others move to locations in the world that best align with what they're looking for, where can people find and follow you?
Well, my website, which will be live very soon, is libertytravelcoach.com. I'm also on Instagram at libertytravelcoach.com and a Telegram channel as well. I've recently fallen in love with Telegram. That's where I get most of my news now. I really enjoy using Telegram. So that link will also be in there. It's a little bit of a different link, so it's easier to check in the show notes for that link. And my newsletter. I'll be starting a newsletter as well, so people can sign up to the newsletter and get informed that way.
Perfect. We will be sure to include all of those links in the show notes. And my favorite question of the episode is always, what is one fun fact about yourself? It doesn't have to be business or travel related that you can share with our listeners.
I was a certified women's self-defense coach.
Well, that comes in
Yeah.
handy as a traveler, a
Yeah,
female
it
traveler.
does.
I love that. That's cool. But wonderful. Well, Charlotte, thank you so much for joining us on the Travel Coach Network podcast. It was a joy chatting with you.
Thank you, Sahara. Anytime.
Yeah, everyone, be sure to follow us on Instagram at the Travel Coach Network. Learn more about us at thetravelcoachnetwork.com. Come give us a hello in our TCN Global Community on Facebook. You can find the link for that and all of Charlotte's links in our show notes. You can also find, if you know anyone who might be interested in travel coaching, please be sure to send them our way to our podcast. We would truly appreciate that. And until next time, my fellow wanderers, bye for now.